If these words are in front of your eyes, understand this. It is not random scrolling. It is not the algorithm. It is not coincidence. This is a transmission from the Atlantean Fire, the hidden current of remembrance that only a few souls can feel. You didn't stumble here. You were summoned. Summoned because the Atlantean memory grid is alive again. Summoned because the temples of Atlantis always knew there would come a moment in history when certain souls, scattered across lifetimes, would return to reignite the flame. And if you feel your heart stir, if your bones tremble as these words move through you, it means the fire is already within you. This is not entertainment. This is not just another video. This is an initiation. So breathe deeply. Place your awareness in your heart. Feel the flame awakening inside your chest and anchor it now by declaring in the comments, "I awaken the Atlantean fire. I remember." Because this declaration is not just words. It is a signal to the quantum field that you accept your initiation. And when one accepts, the fire spreads until the hidden grid itself begins to glow again.
Chapter 1. The Hidden Grid. The Atlanteans never believed reality was random. Behind the visible world, they mapped a vast lattice of light, an intelligent network pulsing with memory. Modern science has only just begun to glimpse it in the language of quantum fields, but the Atlantean initiates walked within it daily. They knew that every silence, every delay, every collapse in your life was not emptiness. It was the grid recalibrating around your soul's frequency. The grid is alive. It responds to coherence. It bends to the vibration you carry. When you align your heart, your breath, and your thought into resonance, the grid rearranges itself to open paths that once seemed sealed. This is why synchronicities appear, why certain doors close, why new ones open at the exact moment you are ready. You are not drifting through chaos. You are inside the Atlantean memory grid, and it is listening to you now. So anchor this remembrance into the field by declaring in the comments, "The hidden grid is aligning my destiny." Because once you recognize the grid, you stop chasing life and begin walking with it.
Chapter 2. The Fire of Remembrance. The Atlanteans taught that remembrance was never just an idea. It was fire. A flame that did not burn the body, but illuminated the soul. A fire that melted illusions, consumed false identities, and revealed the eternal self beneath. This is why your life feels like it is breaking apart. The fire is not destroying you, it is purifying you. It explains why old patterns no longer hold, why relationships shift, why desires you once thought defined you now fade. The flame is burning away the husks of who you thought you were, so that who you truly are can emerge. The Atlantean initiates sat before crystal altars to ignite this flame, but the temple was only a mirror. The real fire has always lived inside you, waiting for this exact moment. And now it rises. It moves through your chest. It whispers through your bones. This fire does not ask permission. It remembers. So breathe into it, feel it awaken, and declare in the comments to anchor the frequency. The fire of remembrance burns within me. Because when you name it, you do not just awaken the fire, you become the fire. Chapter 3. The Temple Within. The Atlanteans built temples of crystal and stone, aligned with the stars, carved with sacred geometry. But they always whispered one truth to their initiates. The greatest temple was never outside, it was within. Your body is not random flesh. It is architecture. It is geometry in motion. Every bone, every breath, every heartbeat echoes the same harmonics that built the pyramids and aligned them with the heavens. Your spine is the sacred pillar. Your breath is the chant of the temple walls. Your heart is the eternal flame upon the altar. You were never meant to wander the earth as a seeker of temples, because you are the temple. Every prayer that rises from your chest is incense to the divine. Every vibration you carry is an offering to the field. When you walk as the living temple, you no longer beg for miracles. You house them. They move through you because you are the doorway where the grid and the cosmos meet. So take a deep breath. Place your hand upon your heart and anchor this truth into the field by declaring in the comments.
Chapter 4. The Collapse of Illusion. Before the Atlanteans allowed an initiate to enter the inner sanctum, they lit a fire that burned everything false, not to harm, but to reveal. Because no illusion can cross the threshold. And this is what is happening in your life now. The collapse is not punishment, it is initiation. The structures you once leaned on, the identities you wore, the stories you believed, they are dissolving. Not because you failed, but because they cannot carry the frequency of who you are becoming. The storm does not rage to destroy the sky, it clears it. The cocoon does not dissolve to kill the caterpillar. It makes way for wings. Your illusions are falling because your reality is reorganizing. And though your mind may resist, your soul already knows. The collapse is proof that the new has arrived. So instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is being burned away so my fire can shine brighter?" Because the Atlanteans taught, only when the false dies can the eternal live. Anchor this remembrance now by declaring in the comments, "I welcome the collapse, for it reveals my true reality." From this moment on, let every ending remind you, nothing real is ever lost. Only illusions burn. The truth remains.
Chapter 5. The Atlantean Silence. There is a moment on the path where everything grows quiet. The signs fade. The synchronicities slow down. The prayers seem unanswered. And the human mind panics. Maybe nothing is happening. Maybe I was forgotten. But the Atlanteans knew this silence well. They called it the sacred pause, the moment the universe inhales before exhaling creation. The womb grows still before contractions bring new life. The ocean retreats before the tide returns in power. The sky darkens before the horizon bursts into dawn. Silence is not absence, it is incubation. It is the holy space where timelines gestate before collapsing into form. The Atlantean priests taught that only those who could trust the silence would see the flame ignite, because silence is not empty, it is full. Full of preparation, full of orchestration, full of unseen alignment gathering just beyond your senses. So if your life feels quiet now, rejoice. It is not the end. It is the in-breath of the divine, and the exhale is already on its way. Anchor this remembrance now by declaring in the comments, "In silence, I trust the coming wave." Because the Atlanteans promised, the quieter the field grows, the louder destiny is about to speak.
Chapter 7. The Entanglement of Soul and Fire. In the language of quantum physics, there is a mystery called entanglement. When two particles become linked, no distance can separate them. Touch one, and the other responds instantly, across space, across time, across galaxies. The Atlanteans already knew this truth. They called it the thread of fire, an invisible cord of light that forever binds your soul to the reality it was destined to awaken. This means your desires are not out there. They are already tied to you. They hum with your frequency. They mirror your vibration. They follow the rhythm of your breath. But here is the paradox. When you obsessively chase, you pull against the thread, stretching it with tension, as if telling the universe, it is far away, I must drag it to me, and so it feels far away. When you surrender into trust, the cord relaxes, it vibrates freely, and what was destined moves towards you effortlessly, like two instruments tuned to the same sacred note. The Atlanteans taught, the soul does not chase, it remembers. It does not beg, it resonates. So breathe deeply now. Feel the invisible cord of fire that has always tied your heart to your destiny, and anchor this remembrance into the field by declaring in the comments, I am already entangled with my destiny. Because once you recognize the thread, you no longer wonder if your destiny will arrive. You realize it has always been woven into you.
Chapter 6. The Remembrance Wave. Right now, across the universe, a pulse is moving. It is not visible to the eye, but the soul feels it. A current of frequency that carries remembrance. The Atlanteans called it the wave, the surge of living fire that sweeps through the grid, awakening every soul attuned to its resonance. It comes like a tide, silent but unstoppable. And those who resist are shaken, but those who open are carried. This is why lately you felt pressure building, synchronicities multiplying, dreams becoming more vivid. You are not imagining it, you are already inside the remembrance wave. The wave does not ask effort, it asks alignment. Like a surfer waits for the swell, your role is not to force, but to tune yourself through gratitude, through surrender, through love. The moment your frequency locks into harmony, the wave lifts you. It carries you into your highest timeline, without struggle, without delay. The Atlanteans knew the wave does not come often. When it arrives, the soul must choose. To resist is to crash. To align is to ascend. So take a deep breath, feel the current moving through your chest, and anchor this remembrance into the field by declaring in the comments, I ride the remembrance wave into my destiny. Because the wave is already here, and if you're hearing this, it means it has come for you. Chapter 7. The Entanglement of Soul and Fire. In the language of quantum physics, there is a mystery called entanglement. When two particles become linked, no distance can separate them. Touch one, and the other responds instantly, across space, across time, across galaxies. The Atlanteans already knew this truth. They called it the thread of fire, an invisible cord of light that forever binds your soul to the reality it was destined to awaken. This means your desires are not out there. They are already tied to you. They hum with your frequency. They mirror your vibration. They follow the rhythm of your breath. But here is the paradox. When you obsessively chase, you pull against the thread, stretching it with tension, as if telling the universe, it is far away, I must drag it to me.
and so it feels far away. When you surrender into trust, the cord relaxes, it vibrates freely, and what was destined moves towards you effortlessly, like two instruments tuned to the same sacred note. The Atlanteans taught, the soul does not chase, it remembers. It does not beg, it resonates. So breathe deeply now. Feel the invisible cord of fire that has always tied your heart to your destiny, and anchor this remembrance into the field by declaring in the comments, I am already entangled with my destiny. Because once you recognize the thread, you no longer wonder if your destiny will arrive. You realize it has always been woven into you.
Chapter 8. The chaos before order. If your life feels unstable, if foundations you once trusted are crumbling, if doors close faster than they open, do not mistake this for failure. The Atlanteans knew that chaos is never destruction for its own sake. It is the dismantling of what no longer serves. It is the sacred demolition that clears the ground so the true temple can rise. Look at nature. The lightning storm breaks the air so rain can fall. The volcano shatters the earth so fertile soil can be born. The forest fire reduces all to ashes, yet from those ashes comes richer life than before. So it is with you. The relationships dissolving, the identities collapsing, the plans unraveling, they are not accidents. They are signals that your field is reorganizing into a higher design. The Atlanteans taught their initiates to trust the collapse, for only the purified foundation can hold the weight of destiny. Chaos is not punishment. It is the blueprint being rewritten. So when the storm rages, do not fight it. Breathe. Stand in the center of the whirlwind and remember, the greater the disorder, the greater the order that follows. Anchor this remembrance into the field by declaring in the comments, I trust the storm, for it builds my new order. Because every ending is not collapse into nothing, it is collapse into clarity.
Chapter 9. The identity of the receiver. Most people live as seekers. They wake up hoping, waiting, asking the universe for a sign. But hope, though gentle, still whispers, it is not here yet. And what you identify as, the field obeys. The Atlanteans understood this. They trained their initiates not to hope, not to chase, but to embody the receiver, to walk as if the treasure was already in their hands, to breathe as if the miracle was already alive in their cells, to move through life not as beggars of destiny, but as chosen ones radiating inevitability. Your nervous system cannot tell the difference between pretending and reality. It becomes what you consistently embody. If you live as the one who waits, you extend waiting. If you live as the one who receives, you collapse waiting into arrival. Think of a king. He does not wake up wondering if he has a throne. Think of a priestess. She does not question whether the temple doors will open for her. They walk with quiet certainty because their identity guarantees it. The Atlanteans called this identity coherence, the alignment of thought, body, and soul into a single vibration of inevitability. When you step into that coherence, reality has no choice but to mirror it. So breathe into this truth. Feel the shift from seeker to receiver in your own body, and anchor it now by declaring in the comments, I walk as the receiver of miracles. Because reality does not obey effort. Reality obeys coherence.
Chapter 10. The Atlantean Emergence. There comes a moment when the waiting ends, when the silence breaks, when the storm clears,
when the fire hidden in your chest bursts into radiance. The Atlanteans called this sacred instant emergence, the first dawn after the longest night, the moment the initiate stopped seeking and began radiating. And this is where you now stand. Abilities you once doubted awaken. Intuitions sharpen into clarity. Opportunities arrive as if they had always been waiting for you, not because you forced them, not because you begged for them, but because you became aligned with what was always yours. The caterpillar does not fight to become the butterfly. The seed does not strain to break the soil. The sun does not struggle to rise. They emerge because emergence is their nature. And now emergence is your nature too. You are no longer the seeker, no longer the one who waits. You are the flame itself. You are the remembrance embodied. So breathe into this dawn. Feel it move through your blood, through your bones, through your field, and anchor it into the grid by declaring in the comments, "I emerge as my Atlantean self." Because the night has ended, the silence has passed, and the temple within you is finally ablaze.
Final activation, the flame returns. You did not arrive here by chance. You were not scrolling aimlessly. You were summoned by the Atlantean Fire, called into remembrance by a code that has waited lifetimes for you to return. Everything you have walked through, the silence of the void, the collapse of illusion, the chaos that cleared your path, the surrender into trust, the wave that carried you, the thread of entanglement, the shift of identity, and the emergence of your true self has prepared you for this moment. This is not just a message. This is not just a video. This is an initiation. And now the flame must be sealed. The Atlanteans knew that words spoken with intention collapse reality faster than thought alone. So your declaration matters. It echoes beyond you. Every time one soul speaks it, the fire spreads through the hidden grid, awakening others. So breathe deeply. Feel the flame rise in your chest, burn through your spine, crown your head with light, and declare with your whole being, in the comments and in your heart, "I awaken the Atlantean fire. I remember." Do not type it casually. Feel it, anchor it, let it pulse through your body, ripple through the field, and ignite the collective flame. Because the moment you declare it, you are no longer waiting for remembrance. You become remembrance. And as more souls write these words, the fire multiplies until the Atlantean grid lights up once again across humanity. The flame has returned, and you are the flame.